Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. 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 Can you guys hear me? Just type yes or no. Okay. As I wrote before, this is just like a test, but I will still review some coins if you guys want. This is, you guys can start dropping some coins in there, and I'll looks like my internet's kind of spotty too. So this is CFI. There's like not any price history on this. There's really nothing to say about this, honestly. You would have to scale down to like the 1 minute or something like that, and you can't even see that because there's no price history. So I mean, it just looks like it's gonna go to like way lower. I'm not sure what the target is. It's already gone down. One thing to really note in these situations is that when Bitcoin pumps hard, you're gonna see alt BTC pairs go way down, because alt BTC pairs, I mean, this is pretty obvious, but it's just altcoin price divided by the Bitcoin price. So if altcoin price is staying the same and Bitcoin price is going way up, then obviously the alt BTC pair is going to go way down. And in those situations, you're going to see a lot of altcoins fail, and you're probably going to see stuff like Uniswap coins also just dump because people are going to want to go risk off on altcoins. By the way, tell me if you guys can hear me and if my voice is okay in all that. LTC what? BTC or what? You can also write the exact pair. Okay, LTC USD. Oopsies, this is link. We'll use a nice old chart, Kraken. Link, or I'm sorry, LTC, BTC. By the way, I'm going to probably advertise that I am streaming this. Sorry, one sec. Okay, I'm going to go through with LTC USD. Okay, so LTC USD. I just posted on Twitter, by the way. Big support level at $25. This is the high time frame bottom. This $41 area was also a key support level. So what am I looking at for here? Majors in general have had, they haven't really pumped nearly as much relative to Bitcoin, and you kind of just see lower highs across the board. And right now you actually see a higher high on high time frame charts, and that's pretty encouraging to see. So right now price is currently looking like it wants to test the areas before the COVID dump in February. And yeah, this looks bullish. The volume is here right now. And sorry if I seem distracted. I'm also checking on Twitter to see. Okay, so sorry, I was just posting on Twitter. There's a little confusion. I just posted on Twitter and said that they should post some pairs, but they were posting in the Twitter thread. As I said before, I believe that Majors are going to start doing well. You see lower highs formed across the board. And majors in general haven't done as well as Bitcoin has. I mean, Bitcoin just kept going, grinded up and up and up and up after the COVID dump. But you didn't see any of that happen with regards to the majors like LTC. You just saw this like flat price action. So as of right now, I think that you see Litecoin just kind of go grind a little higher. I think that the fact that it made a higher high is interesting to me, and I think that we're eventually going to see this $80 mark broken pretty quickly. So I guess in short, I believe that this area is going to have some sellers, and you're already kind of seeing that right now. It wouldn't surprise me to see price dip down something like this, 66 or something like that, before going higher. And there's going to be, I still believe there's still some sell liquidity from here all the way up to $85. But as a whole, I do believe that majors are going to start doing a lot better than they were before. And I am bullish on this in the next coming weeks. Okay, so link BTC, sorry. Link Bitcoin. Okay, this is a and also type to me too if this stream is going slow. Anyways, here's my Bitcoin chart. I'm sorry, my Link BTC chart. I thought that Link had a chance of going to this bullish order block around, what is that, 60,000 sats? 60,000 sats. And the more bullish that Bitcoin itself is, the more likelihood that you're going to see Link BTC go lower, as with all altcoins. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see this area tapped before going higher. The next area of support would be this 52,000 area. And yeah, this is I'm still high time frame bullish on Link BTC and Link USD, but I believe that there could be a little more pain to come for this pair. And you can look at the 200-day EMA. This turned bullish. I'm sorry, bearish. And yeah, so anyways, nearly all alt BTC pairs are going to suffer if Bitcoin goes higher. But I'm still bullish on Link in general in the coming weeks. So we'll go with DIA. That's next. DIA BTC. This one, I don't really know the FA on this. I think this is like an Oracle, maybe. I'm not sure. I mean, this is just like pronounced downtrend. There's really not any there are not any lows yet that are formed, but this is really encouraging to see that this low is holding. And sorry, I'm getting some messages otherwise. It's encouraging to see this low hold, but again, as I said with Link BTC, any alt BTC pairs are going to suffer when Bitcoin is doing well. So what I would like to see here for DIA is basically just for these lows to hold, this to accumulate, and then go higher. It looks fairly bottomed for the most part, but if Bitcoin does something silly like go to you know, $25,000 or something like that, then you're gonna see this just like go all the way down to zero. No, obviously not zero, but it'll get hurt pretty badly. This volume does look pretty good right here. Usually you want to see some spikes outside of the range, and that's going to take out some of the sellers. So the sell side liquidity is going to be taken out a little bit or eaten up, but in general this isn't bullish quite yet. So okay, ETHBTC. I charted this one before. It looks fairly bottomed. There's this high time frame support area around 40 to 50 satoshis, and I'm not sure if it's going to hit this mark or not. As I said, again, with any of these Bitcoin alt BTC pairs, if Bitcoin does do something crazy, it's going to go to this area and then maybe reverse. But I would like to see this current area hold, the 65 Satoshi area, and I thought it kind of looked like accumulation to me, because there was a decent amount of volume. You know, the highest volume since September and even earlier, August, but price wasn't moving very much. So that's usually signs of accumulation happening. But again, Bitcoin is very scary right now, so it's going to be very iffy for this pair. I would basically, if I were to trade this, I would probably scale in like now, and I would definitely cut it myself if it lost this kind of area. And this area could probably be adjusted, honestly, something like this. I do think that the range lows are going to come again, though. It's like 65 Satoshis. I think that you can get an entry. I definitely, in any of these alt BTC pairs, if you guys are trading, I would not FOMO at all. I mean, it depends on how you guys trade, but I would just dollar cost average myself and then kind of go from there. Okay, so TRBUSDT. This one was good. I remember wanting to trade this one, but I never did. This is just a pretty clear chart, in my opinion. You could see clear resistance here, here. I mean, it eventually nuked there. Here, and then like just tons of resistance areas just like all throughout this. And as I said before on previous videos, whenever you see a certain area that is tapped multiple times in a short amount of time, that usually means that that area is going to weaken, either be it support or resistance. So in this case, this is all just a resistance area, this $25, and the more that price continues to tap it, the weaker and weaker it is, because those orders are getting eaten up and they're getting consumed. So that's what you basically saw right here, was that you saw price tap, 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 and what you'll usually see is price first come up, have a big rejection. Price come up again, have another rejection. Price come up, have another rejection. And you'll see these higher lows being formed in these types of situations. And that's kind of what you saw right here. So what happened? It broke through and it found this next resistance area. You can look at volume profile. There's not really much right here. You might have to scale down to lower time frames. But it looks like most of the volume was just transacted within this 20 to 25 dollar area. What am I expecting for TRB? It wouldn't surprise me at all to see a retest of this $25 area before going up again. That's probably where I would place my bids, and then I would probably play it like this. Oopsies. I'd probably target like this swing low. I mean, I would just swing trade this. If you're scalping, you're going to have obviously different triggers and targets. And another potential trade that you could also make is waiting until this current area, this like 32 area, is cleared. That's kind of what I would target for TRB. YFI. I'm just going to do the tether, I guess. This is a messy chart because I charted this, I compared this earlier to REN, and I basically thought that this was going to grind all the way up to the 0.382 area, so like the $30,000 mark, and then pull back hard, maybe to 15,000 or something like that, or maybe lower, and then go back up. This still looks good on in low time frame charts. I mean, you saw resistance, and resist. Hopefully, the daily would close above 19,000. That would be fairly bullish to me. Price is at resistance. Like this area right here is all going to be a resistance area. And it's fairly important too, because the resistance in it, basically the resistance is stronger based on the reaction, the resistance or the support. So this area right here was like a really interesting area before because of the reaction. Like, you know, when price went from 40,000 all the way back down to 18, and then it blitzed all the way back up, that means that there's going to be a lot of demand in this area. But as I said before, demand gets weaker and weaker as it gets tested over and over again. And you could see it happen again right here. And again, kind of like a bouncing ball. This just basically fell through. And so anyways, same thing happens. You know, once price falls through support, it becomes resistance because there's still sell side liquidity there. And I'm expecting this area to be resistance right now. But if it does break through, which I am hopeful for, I would target kind of these areas here. Okay. I'm going to do ETH because ETH is a popular one. This is bad. This is an old chart. I'll just wipe it. ETHBTC looks ugly. There's nothing really super bullish about this yet. If you're buying this, you're just buying it on the hope that basically you assume that Ethereum goes big in December. And as I said before, like, you know, in December, ETHBTC just like goes nuts over the last few years. Starting in December. It doesn't mean it ends in December, of course, but so, you know, you get whatever, 70%, 60% from the lows. So that's what you're hoping for ETHBTC. I mean, right now it's currently at support, but there's still plenty of other support areas that could come. If this current area falls, then there's still some wicks that are going to be support. So like, you know, 0.025. But you basically are hoping that ETHBTC pulls back, or I'm sorry, finds some support at one of these areas, because ETHBTC is generally a good indicator for any altcoin pumps, i.e. whenever ETHBTC does well, then the alt market in general does pretty well. So yeah, I mean, you should find some support at one of these areas. I am not really holding my breath yet, because like every other altcoin, ETH is also going to suffer if Bitcoin goes really strong. So, okay. I already did YFI, ETH. Do REN. RENUSD. REN, okay, this was a kind of an ugly, messy chart before from my fib levels. I'll give a little bit of advice on my fibs, and this is something I was talking about too with some of my friends, is that when you're drawing your fibs, obviously you want to look for confluence with regards to SR levels, and confluence with that, but you also want to look for the first wick, the blow off top area of any area, and then you want to see the area where price comes back to that area before dumping. So you'll see, you know, I mean, you call it a double top or something like that. And that's the area that I like to mark my fibs, is because that area is the significant area, like the quote unquote turning point, break in market structure, whatever you want to call it. So that's where this is what I was talking about with regards to YFI too. Where's my... I know these charts aren't super similar, but this is an example of what I thought might happen with regards to these two. You could see, you know, a huge breakdown with REN. It did like a full retrace all the way back down to 16 cents before going back up to the 0.382 fib and 41 cents. I thought that this was possible for YFI. I thought that price might have gone all the way up to the 3.82 fib, which is around 30,000, and then dump to you know, 13,000 or 15,000 or something like that. Form a higher low and then go up. And that's kind of what you're seeing with REN. You see a low and then like a higher macro low, and then I'm expecting price to eventually keep going higher. So that's an example of REN. I think that this is still probably going to go higher, but I'm not tremendously confident on it. I'd like to see it go higher, but you know, it is a DeFi coin, so I think that we'll see. Yeah, Hickey Hojo, I did do ETHBTC. I basically thought that ETHBTC was like pretty bearish until shown otherwise. It should find some support at like 0.025, I hope. But okay, let's go to I mean YFII2. This is just going to basically follow YFI. If YFI is bullish, then this is going to also be bullish. You can see support here, price bottoms. YFI, I actually don't even know what YFII is, frankly. I know what YFI is, but I don't know what this one is. I assume just one of the many clones. Anyways, you see pretty good volume, and this is, I think, was when YFI liquidated that one shorter. And it's also really important too when you guys trade altcoins is to understand the relationships between coins. It could be DeFi coins, it could be IEO coins, it could be old majors, it could be old ERC20 coins like Icon or Golem or Augur. These coins all move with similar market cycles, and you can see all the IEO coins are going to move similar to each other. You saw all these new coins like Alpha, INJ, and AXS. Those all move together because they have the similar market cycles. Those are all the new Binance Launchpad coins. So this relationship would be YFII and YFI. Those two obviously have an obvious relationship between each other. So if you see YFI pumping hard and you see YFII like not moving at all, you can probably just take an easy long on YFII, expecting for this one to follow YFI. I mean, these two have the same relationship. So in those situations, it's really important to understand the relationships between altcoins in general. As for this chart itself, I mean, I'm still expecting this to basically continue grinding up to this $2,500 area and then probably pull back. There's also a possibility that this area currently has some resistance. Okay, let's see. There was a few requests for RUNE, so I'll do that. RUNEUSD. Oh, this is a new chart. Okay, so yeah, this is like what I thought would happen. Clearly, it did not happen. I thought that this area right here, this 81 cents area, would have a lot of more sell liquidity than it did, but it did not, because this basically just blew on through with huge volume. And in these situations, I basically like to just fib out the entire range. And this area, like see like here, like you could see right here, like if you fib out the entire thing, this 0.618 area is already resistance. And you can probably expect this area is also going to be resistance too. And this area here. And obviously this is the high. And you can obviously adjust your fib levels as needed, but this still looks bullish. I'm just going to keep going up. I do think, though, I still believe that this area is going to get tested again. This would be a good entry, in my opinion. 81 cents. Next, Hard. I mean, Hard is just a new coin, so I don't think we're even going to see anything. Yeah, what can you see from this? There's actually more price history than I thought on Hard. Oopsies. Okay, so what can you see from Hard? You see a bottom formed, And how did you know this was the bottom? Again, hindsight's 2020, but you saw a massive sell volume, usually indicative of a bottom being formed. Then you saw accumulation happening throughout this little range, and then you saw price reverse. So what are we looking at now for hard? It looks bullish in the short term, but I'm sorry, I don't think it really actually looks that bullish. I think that it's still going to tap 53 cents at a minimum, and probably wouldn't be surprised if it went to this lower area too. But it's still a new coin, so you can't really say much. But I mean, it has already formed lower highs on a macro level, so I'm pretty neutral on this. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw support and then head lower. This would be a good swing trade though. You could just go like you would basically do something like this. You would extend this below this. That's a setup I would take, that I would consider. XPS, never even heard of this one. Relatively new coin, looks good. Sell side liquidity gets broken. A lot of sellers here. Obvious support here. I mean, it still looks good though. It still looks good, but I would start to be concerned a little bit with the amount of sell volume coming in right now. What I would like to see is basically a higher low formed. Because this type of price action right here is not very sustainable. It's just like slow grind. And you saw that in AAVE too. I can review AAVE if you want. AAVE. This is kind of what I was talking about. Like, look right here. Like, this is not sustainable. Like, this doesn't look natural at all. In terms of price action, you saw a good pullback, but I am hopeful for AAVE because I think you can actually call it a bullish market structure now. And these guys were actually really smart with the way they did their ticker, because LEND is no longer a ticker, and you can't see the price history. So this looks brilliant. It looks like you're like, oh, I'm hitting all-time high levels, you know, like $59 was the high. This is like going into price discovery, when in reality, LEND actually traded at a higher level than it is now, I believe. AAVE looks good to me though still. I mean, this is still just going to keep grinding out. It's already made a higher high wherever it stalls. And I have a bag. I'll do MTA. MTA died, if I recall correctly. Oh no, it actually reversed. That's right. Okay, so I checked out this one too. This one looks actually kind of interesting in the sense that it looks like a nice rounded bottom. And price, it wouldn't surprise me at all to see like some sort of cup and handle type of reversal for this one. So see here, you're gonna see price consolidate down, and you're going to see it make the handle, and then you're going to see it go up. And I would assume that this inefficient move right here, where there's not, buyers and sellers are not in equilibrium and price just cascades down, I'm guessing for the volume profile, there's just going to be like nothing. So yeah, that's exactly. So price usually likes to always fill in these areas. Whenever you look at volume profile and there's no trading activity, that's the sign of an inefficient move. And price usually likes to grind through these areas and fill it out eventually. So I think that the likelihood of this going to $2 plus is actually very high. I just don't know when it's going to happen. It looks like, you know, another retest of this area right here, this 130 area is going to come, but that is what I'm expecting. I'm expecting, you know, pull back here and then grind on through. This looks pretty good. RLC USDT, RLC. By the way, I highly encourage everybody here to basically study and learn as many new techniques and ideas for trading as you can. I've gone through so many different ideas and learning ways to understand price action. You know, bullish order blocks, bearish order blocks, supply and demand, just straight SR lines, EMAs, volume profile, fibs. You can basically use all of it to help you understand what's going on. Okay, so this is RLC. This looks pretty good for the most part. You saw this area support, and it got tapped. And it wouldn't surprise me to see this area as resistance is currently. And how do you know that? As I said before, you look at the areas which had the strongest reaction. So this had a big reaction. This had a big reaction. Oopsies. This is the break-in market structure here. RLC still looks good, but it wouldn't surprise me to see a slight pullback. But this is interesting the way it's kind of wicking above. It's taking out sellers. Do I have resources for order blocks? Yeah, I would basically look at Trader Main. He was where I first understood a lot of it. And I liked order blocks because it was basically an area of support or resistance. It wasn't just like one line. Like one line has to be so precise for your like support level, right? Like this is what you can call support, but one line is it's a very precise way of trading. And if you're doing altcoin swing trading, you can be more subjective and consider like an area is support or resistance, not just like one line or one key level. Key levels matter a lot more when you're scalping and you're taking really quick trades where you need precision. But if you're swing trading altcoins, you don't need that as much. I did link already. You can watch the replay. Okay, so I'll do XRP. XRP, this is one that is a massive shitcoin, obviously. Actually, you know what? Let's go to XRP. Let's go to this Bitstamp. Wait, is this? What did that? Oh, here it is. Okay, so I thought that XRP actually looks like accumulation. I hate to say it. Yeah, maybe I should say yes. I do like to see it because I have XRP bag. But this looks like accumulation because see how much buy volume is coming in and price is relatively not moving. So XRP I think is eventually going to move pretty hard. It's probably not best to actually use the Bitstamp chart just because there's not much price history. We have to go way back, maybe to like, I wonder what Polonia looks like. Still like not a whole lot, I guess. Anyways, basically I think that XRP is going to move. I just don't know when. It kind of falls into that category of like old dead majors. And this one is going to eventually move, but the problem with buying XRP, especially with size, is that you're going to have some sort of opportunity cost issues when you just like sit and watch your bag just basically do this, you know, all throughout the summer, just like did nothing. And that was when price was popping off everywhere else. So if you buy something like this, just know that you might have to hold it for a while before it actually does anything. I'll do FATUSD. It's kind of a messy chart. What's I doing here? I thought this area here would provide support, but it didn't really provide that much support as much as I would have liked. You saw a good first bounce, but then price just kind of broke through it. Next area of support is probably this area. FATUSD though, I mean, it's still technically bearish in my opinion. You're still seeing lower highs. But the one nice thing about this is that you're seeing a lot of wicks in this area, aka resistance, and that's usually a good thing when you're seeing wicks up because they're taking out the sellers. So I don't really see any sign of this bottoming quite yet, but you know, you kind of want to look for basically capitulation or like super high volume like this. This is like a good sign that stuff was about to come, like a big move was about to come, because there's lots of sellers right here, and that took out a lot of the sellers and price just nuked up. So in summary for FET, I don't really think this is quite the bottom yet. I'm looking for massive capitulation, or I'm looking for some sort of accumulation. And it's possible that price is accumulating now, but I still think it needs more time. RSR. I did this one on Twitter. I thought that there's still sellers here in this area, as evidence resistance, 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 and resistance again. But what's cool to see is that price is just kind of hanging around here. And soon resistance is going to get broken to where I think this is the next area up, 0.022. I think this is going to be bullish though. And you can kind of see on lower time frames, like structurally this looks bullish because there's higher lows being formed like everywhere. And just a higher high that just got broken. So yeah, I'm bullish on RSR. I think that I would personally wait to see a break of this before entering. OMG. It's a really old chart. I don't remember why I drew my fib there. I don't remember. High time frame support, support, support again. This is really not doing anything. This is just, it's accumulating, in my opinion. It's going to be similar to this, just like on a bigger scale. Wouldn't surprise me at all to see something like this. Goes up. And if you really wanted to draw a range for this, you would basically just go like this. Look at this. So, like, I mean, this is a range highs, and this is just like a 2-second range creation, but you can see EQ as the equilibrium as support. So it's like this. CRV. I thought this looks bullish because look at the double bottom. You saw like crazy amount of volume coming in. This is still bullish to me. One problem with CRV is like the tokenomics. I think it's like a huge amount of supply being released, but this still looks good. I mean, buying here is kind of risky because it's still resistance, but yeah, it looks good to me. What else? Okay, it looks like there's no more chart requests, so I will probably be ending this stream soon. What coins am I holding right now? I try to not hold as many coins as for long term. I am swing trading Link. I'm swing trading DOT. I'm swing trading AXS. All right, you want Bitcoin dominance? Okay. What is that? Total 2? No, I don't remember. No. It's hang on. What's the ticker for BTCD? Is it BTCD? Like this? Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, all right. This is an old chart of what I thought was actually going to happen. This is self-explanatory. I thought that, okay, so remember the relationship between Bitcoin dominance and altcoins. When Bitcoin dominance goes up, altcoins suffer. So you generally want to see Bitcoin dominance go down if you are an altcoin trader. So right now, I thought that this was probably going to happen right here. I think, and you're kind of seeing that right now. You're seeing alts kind of pull back. And Bitcoin dominance chart is generally reflected mostly in the big caps, so like Ethereum and what have you. So you'll see ETHBTC go down and Bitcoin dominance go up. But as far as Bitcoin dominance goes, I think this is going to keep going as high as Bitcoin itself will keep going. If Bitcoin goes to like something crazy like $30,000 or something like that, or 25,000, which is totally possible, then I think that these it's going to go to like 70% or higher, in my opinion, and alts are just going to crash. This is a note that I had before. I think I actually even wrote it originally when it was like Bitcoin was at like $10,000 or $11,000. I thought that basically Bitcoin was going to go to like $16,000 or $17,000, and then altcoins were going to suffer. Right now, we're seeing altcoins as a whole kind of have some days where they're actually doing pretty well, which is nice to see. But as a whole, I'm still very cautious on altcoins, and I'm just like kind of just swing trading them right now. yeah, this was going to keep going higher as long as Bitcoin keeps going higher, in my opinion. So when we finally see a blow off top for Bitcoin, that's when it's really time to start buying altcoins. But until that time, I would either just scale in and dollar cost average. What does that mean? That means just buying like 10% or 20% or 15% or 30% of your order or 5%, whatever you want. And just basically buying as price goes down for altcoins. And eventually I think that alt BTC pairs are going to do very well. And but you know, the time is not going to happen until Bitcoin is done with its run. And I have no idea when it's going to be done with its run. I think we see some sort of like blow off top in the short term. I don't know where that happens, like 17 or 18,000, or maybe even like, you know, it could just go to 25 or 30,000. I'm not really sure, but I do think that Bitcoin will pull back eventually. And at that point, I think that's when altcoins do really well. But until that time, I'm just still waiting until Bitcoin does like a big blow off top. So yeah, in summary, I am still just kind of swing trading altcoins. I have a handful of decentralized finance coins like Aave and Nexus Mutual and a few others. And yeah, I'm just going to basically go ahead and hold those for a little bit and just keep dollar cost averaging. But anyways, thank you very much, guys, for joining the stream. And I might keep doing this again in the future. So take care. Good luck.